Yeah. Beatrice was here today.
Okay, ladies. Well, I'm going to start off straight away and just say a huge big welcome to each and every one of you. I'm so excited for you. You know, I always say this, but seriously, digital products is just one of the best things that I ever did. It has completely changed the way we did business. And I think the biggest thing for us, after we created digital products, because before we were always doing all our coaching live or even on Zoom calls like this, and we could never leverage our time. And I think the one thing that the courses have done is it has given us time back. We did all the work up front, you know, and yes, I'm not going to lie, it's a lot of work getting your course up and running and getting it there and putting it all together. But then once you've done it, all you have to do after that is marketing. It's just marketing and selling that same course over and over and over. And it's just been like just one of the best things I ever done. So I really believe that you guys have done a brilliant choice to come and join us here. And I'm so excited to see all the products and digital products that you're going to create.
Yes, welcome everyone. Nice to have you all here. The rubber meets the road now. The talking's over and you watched the workshop and you've invested in yourself, so congratulations for that. Thanks for trusting in us and trusting in the process. And just trust that the process does work. You know, the people that do the work seem to get the best results. It's funny that, isn't it? The people that don't do the work don't get the results. Also funny that. And like I said in the workshop, my personal belief is that just about everything is learnable. Doesn't matter what age you are, what background, what happened before, failures, successes, etc., etc. And I firmly believe you just need three things. One of them is you. Two is a guide, a mentor, teacher, coach, trainer, somebody that you can emulate, who's got a plan or a system or framework that's proven to be practical, implemented, and generates income. If that's what you're here for, it's for the income. So, like I said earlier in the Passion to Profit group, you know, there are a lot of gurus and gurus and so forth online. And what we like to think is that we've narrowed down a lot of the rabbit holes, which you don't have to go down to. A lot of this stuff's been tried and tested over many, many years, but it's just human nature. Every time you see something, the first thing you want to do is you want to change it, all right? It's fine to change it. You're welcome to change anything, the templates, whatever you want to do. But just remember that if you want feedback on stuff that we don't use, you know, it's difficult to give feedback. We can only give feedback on stuff that we've used and implemented and what the other students have implemented and used. So don't be tempted to chase every shiny object. You know, decide on one person. And yeah, thankfully you've decided on us. You've decided on a process. We know the process works. So the third wheel in this little triangle is yourselves. So that's going to come down to what energy you put out there, because we'll show up every day. We'll do our bit. We will never let you down. That you can guarantee. But we can only match energy for energy. So whatever you're prepared to put in, that's the energy you're going to get back from us. Another thing I just want to say is don't sit at home and stew on something. If you're stuck and you've been through a video or a PDF or a workbook or something, and you're still unsure, just pop into the group at any time and put your question in there, because I'm sure somebody else has got exactly the same question. We'll try and answer you as quickly as we can, Monday to Thursdays. And then, of course, Maren will just go through all the basics.
Yeah, I just want to add to that, where Stephen said, don't stew on it, because I can promise you what we found over the years with all our training is that if one person is asking that question, there's normally a whole bunch of other people that's thinking that exact same thing. So please, there's no stupid questions here. Ask whatever you need to ask, and please don't send these messages to us privately. The whole idea why we've set up the Facebook group is so that you can post all your questions in the Facebook group, because everybody learns from it. Don't think just because you've got a separate type of product or your business is different or whatever, you know, you need separate coaching. It does not matter what you do. the principles that we teach will help everybody. So this is how everybody can benefit from it, and how we can also leverage our time to help all of you out by just asking and using the Facebook group to do it. If you send me an email, all I'm going to do is I'm going to say to you, please go and post it in the Facebook group. So please don't send us messages. Just do everything. This is where we hang out. This is where we do our thing. So yeah, just go into the Facebook group, and then of course our calls. So, oh, the other thing I noticed already, oh, we've got a mosquito or something flying around here. I just want to go back to gallery view. I've noticed some of my older students are here. Welcome. I'm glad you guys came and joined in. I just want to say this is specifically for our older students. If you are at a stage where you may be a little bit overwhelmed and, you know, you just feel like you need to reset again and refocus because that's shiny objects. I know how easy it is to get, you know, distracted with all those things. So this is an opportunity for you to, again, come, and we're going to start from the beginning and work through the program. So if you want to come in, basically what I'm going to be doing, so this is for everyone now, the way we're going to run it is basically every, I spend 2 weeks per module. So, and I'm specifically talking about the Digital Product Lab, Kickstart Your Course Creation. Okay, we're going to start with Kickstart Your Course Creation because I just feel that program is where I put all the meat into for setting up those foundations, like getting the principles of any digital product. It's there. So even though we're talking about a course, it could also be a membership, or it could also be your ebook or whatever. But the content in there, what you need to do basically is pretty much all the same for whatever you're going to do. So I'm going to work through with you through Kickstart Your Course Creation. And then we'll spend 2 weeks on each module, unless I find that there's maybe a place where I know once we get to the actual setting up all the funnels, that does take a little bit more time. That's absolutely fine. Remember, you've got lifetime access to this program. It's not like you can't go back to it at any time. But through our coaching, I want to try and stick to 2 weeks, because then we can basically get it done in 12 weeks. And let's just add on right now another 2 or 3 weeks to that for Christmas and all that, so that we still have more time to then, after you've gone through it, to just refine and review and really get everything set up before the end of June. What was that now again? Oh, yes. So at the end of the call, I'm going to give each one of you a chance to just tell me what you do, or tell us what you do, you know, what industry you're in, and also what you're planning on creating as far as digital products are concerned. Can I just ask, are there any questions at this stage? No. Okay, I don't see a hand, so that's fine. Okay, I'm going to share my screen quickly. I want to take you through just everything again, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page, that you understand how to do everything. So, I've already logged in here, but all you have to do to log in is just go so there's 2 ways that you can do this. I recommend that if you're actually working on the program, if you're sitting at your desk and you're going through, you've printed out the workbooks, you want to do the work, do this on your computer. Okay, it's much easier working on your computer. It's much easier watching the videos on your computer, everything. And to do that, you just go to your Google or whatever, and you put in maureenbarnard.com/login. That will take you to the login page. And then once you've logged in with your username and your email address and your password that you set up, it'll bring you through here to your library. Okay, and then you should see all the programs that you've purchased. If you used the one-time payment, you would also have SOS in there. Otherwise, you will have the other 3 in there. Okay, the one I want everybody to start with, is this one, the Digital Product Lab, Kickstart Your Course Creation. So I'm going to click on that one. Now, like Stephen says, everything we do is a system, and everything we do is, I've created it in order. So I don't want you to jump around, because the minute you start jumping around and you jump into this program and then you jump into that program and then you go and look at the workshop and then you go and look at the ebook and then you go over to SOS, that's when you start getting completely overwhelmed, confused, because you don't know what you should be doing. Start with this one, stick with it. unless there's a specific problem that comes up in your questions, where we feel that you need maybe to go to SOS to do something, or if we think that you need help with it, we will tell you to go there. But this is where I want you to spend your time and focus your time and just narrow in on this. Now, surprisingly, you need to start where it says start here, okay? And the reason I say that is because you won't believe how many people don't do this. So please click on the button that says start here and start at the top with a welcome video, which is pretty much like the one I'm doing right now, which is going to tell you everything you need to know. That's the Get Ready workbook and my pledge. So you'll just see that Get Ready workbook is kind of just like a little bit of a foundation. If you don't have all the answers in there in terms of your ideal customer and your niche and things like that, don't worry too much about it, because we are in module 1, we are going through all that stuff again. So, but print it out, it is really good. Now, this Kajabi app, I know people get so overwhelmed with it. All the Kajabi app is if you're on your phone, and let's just say you're somewhere and you quickly want to access the program, any of the programs, that's when you can use the Kajabi app. I don't recommend, and I mean, I've had students who don't actually have laptops. They are doing the programs through their app on their phones, but don't feel like you can only access the program through the app. The app is just an addition, like it's just something extra.
Convenience.
Convenience. If you're on the road and you need to quickly look at it. So when we're driving and Stephen says to me, oh, have you put in a worksheet for this, and the other? And I can't remember. And then I quickly go in and I go and look, and like it's more like a quick access thing as opposed to doing the work. So please don't get confused and think you have to have the app and you can't download the app or whatever. It's purely there for convenience. Then this is your master checklist, Kickstart Your Course Creation Master Checklist. If you print that out, that is basically everything that you're going to do. And it's just a checklist so that you can see what have I done, what have I haven't done, where must I go back to, etc. And then, of course, this is just a framework. So you can print it out. It's maybe a really good idea. Print these frameworks out so that you can visually see it in front of you. And you can see, as I talk about everything, how everything fits together. Now, like we said, that if you've got any questions, we want you to ask it in the Facebook group. And now you're going through your training year and you get to your course idea and there's something you don't understand. And it's like, oh, jeepers, I need to go and ask a question. This year that says join the Inner Circle Facebook group here, if you just click straight on that, which I'm going to do, it'll take you straight through to the Facebook group. Okay, so it's like a quick access. Oh, you can see how slow our internet is tonight. It's like a quick access to, to the Facebook group. So I just wanted to show you that so that you don't have to think, oh, geez, now where do I find the Facebook group again or whatever. This is a quick access for you to go straight there, click on it, and it'll take you to the group and you can ask your questions. So now for the next 2 weeks until, in fact, we've got a call on Tuesday. And then basically, so add on another two weeks before our calls are always on a Tuesday night.
Or morning.
Yeah, so I actually swap it around. So 1 week it's going to be 6 o'clock in the evening, and 1 week it's going to be 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so we swap it around just to help people that are working as well and that's not available during the day, so that they can also come on all the live calls. Now, all the calls are recorded, and where will you find them? If you go again to this Kickstart Your Course Creation, if you go all the way to the bottom, you will see that it says, you'll see here that it says recorded calls. You click on that recorded calls and you will see it. Like we just keep on putting the latest call will always be at the top here. And then you just click on the YouTube link and it'll take you through to the calls. So you'll always have access to the calls, even if you can't make it. Okay, so what I want you to do now in the first 2 weeks, and I mean, you can already start with whatever and ask your questions on Tuesday, but is go through this start year bit and then start working through your module 1. Okay. Now, for those of you that want to rush through, okay, that's fine. You can do that. But I really want you to take your time. There's a workbook with every module. You'll see there's a workbook at the top of every module. And I want you to print out that workbook and then go through, as you go through the training, do the work in the workbook. So why do I say that? Because all the stuff that you are going to be learning and doing in module 1, you're going to end up using that later on. So when we start creating sales pages and social media posts and our marketing and anything like that, you're going to have to refer back to all the stuff that you learned in module 1. And if you do it properly now in the beginning and the first time, when you have to set up all your pages and do all those things for your marketing, it is going to be so much easier when you just go back and I say, right, on your sales page, you need to have like 3 benefits, 3 this, 3 that. You're going to be able to go straight back to your workbook and say, oh, here are my 3 benefits. Here's my 3 struggles I have. Here's the things that I, what my course is going to promise. Like, it's all going to be there. So you're not going to even have to think about it then. So make sure that you do the work in the beginning, and it'll make your life much easier as you go through. Okay, so I'm basically just going to talk about that. I want you to go through in the next 2 weeks. We're going to do module 1.
The video is locked.
Oh yeah. So basically, what's going to happen? These videos, module 1, you'll do the workbook, and then you have to actually go through all these. I've actually gone through them, so mine is probably not locked. Actually, let me just see, because I have logged on into another one. No, you see, mine are not locked. Let me just quickly see. No, I think I've opened all mine. So what you'll find is if you just go randomly and go and click on any of these, it'll say that this video is locked. You can't go. And the reason I do that is because I want you to work through it systematically. I don't want you to watch the overview 1 and then go and look at something here and then want to go and look at something there. You're not going to be able to do it. You have to first go through all the training in module 1 before module 2 is going to open up. And then once as soon as you've done module 1, module 2 will open up. You don't have to wait. It's not like it's going to be 2 weeks before I open it. It'll open up as soon as you finish the videos. But like I said, don't rush through this. Get it done properly. Like this is the core of what you need to do. Okay.
Yep, sounds good.
All right. Let me just check my list that I'm not missing out anything.
Just show page 2.
Oh, there's only a congrats at
Yeah,
page
it doesn't
2.
matter.
So just always make sure that if you in any of my programs, just go to the bottom. If there's often there's a second page and people don't see it. I mean, in this case, it's just a congratulations video, which is absolutely fine. But like in SOS in those, just make sure that if you ever go down to the bottom and you can't find something, just have a look. It might just be there. Oh, and another thing I also want to show you, which might come up here. I just want to see. Now, this one is actually not doing it, but sometimes where there's so many videos like this, sometimes you'll see there's like a more button at the bottom and you think, oh, it stops at video 5 or number 5, but then there's like a little more button, like right there at the bottom, it will say more. Just make sure you click on the more because there might be more videos below there. Okay. So just always make sure that you've checked. Oh, there, show more. You see, that's exactly what I mean. It says show more, and then you click on that, and it actually shows you like all the videos because there's more videos in there. Okay. Now I want to take anything.
The group, yeah.
Okay, I want to take you to the group. So hopefully all of you have joined the group, I think. If you haven't joined the group yet, please just join the group. Because like I said, this is where we are going to ask, where you're going to ask all your questions. Stephen and I are in here all the time. We answer questions. Now, one of the most crucial things that you have to do, let me just see if some of the ladies, yes, yeah. So Lisa, for instance, here, you have to tag me or Stephen or both of us in your posts. And the easiest way to do that is to just at the top, when you're making your post, just start with @Maren, and it'll come up like that. I'll just use my, this is my, it is my profile. And Stephen, just go Stephen, just do the @ again, because it doesn't always come up if you just do it like that. @Stephen, and Stephen is the Stephen Andrew Barnard. Okay, and just click on both and then start writing your thing. Or if you want to put it at the end, it doesn't matter where you put your question. If we don't get tagged, we don't get a notification that you've asked a question. And then we're going to miss it. Okay, so that's why this is so important that you tag us so that we get the notification so that we know that someone has actually asked us a question.
And if you're ping-ponging back and forth, you've got to keep on re-tagging us.
Yeah. So,
because what often happens is we'll answer a question and then you'll disappear for 6 weeks and then come back 6 weeks later and ask a question again that related to back then, but you don't tag us, and then we don't get that notification, so we won't know that you.
Yeah, so wherever you post something, even in the comments, just tag either me or Stephen or both of us. The next thing that I want to show you is that this featured section, I'll always tell you that anything that's of importance, like tonight's call, anything of importance, I'll go and put in the featured section, which will always be right here at the top of the group. Okay, so anything that I want you to see or want you to be aware of, or sometimes in the training, I will tell you to go. I know, for instance, this is part of the workshop training, and I will say to you, go and comment below the post in the featured section. So I want you to understand this is the featured section. If you can't see it just below here like that, you can just click on that and all the featured posts will come up, and then just look for the one that's relevant to what you're looking for. Now, every month, I'll be, in fact, I can just unpin this one now and remove that because that's now not relevant anymore. So these are the 2 posts in all my groups again that you need to be aware of. There's the one that says ask your questions here, and then this one says please post your review links here. So the question one is for any questions you've got. Maybe these questions a little bit more related to our calls, because it's much easier for me if I say to you, you know, I might put a post and say, tonight's our Q&A call. Please make sure to post your questions under the Q&A post. Please post it there, because if you just go in and post random questions for the calls, I don't know where to find them. They're all over the place and I don't get them. It's much easier if I know all your questions are there. Now, you can, at any time, you can ask your questions there, but if there's something really big that you want to do, like what, who was this now again that posted here? Oh, Lisa had a whole thing here that she wanted me to have a look at. That's not a problem either. If you want us to answer in the Facebook group, by all means, you can just make a post in the Facebook group and we will answer you there. And then the review post, this one, is where you can post any, as we go through the course, eventually you will see that we're going to create, you know, say sales pages or thank you pages, or we're going to do some email nurtures or anything that you need feedback on. That is where you're going to create your links. So as you go through it, you'll see as everyone starts posting stuff, this is where you're going to, even if you're putting your course together and you want us to look at something specific, you can just, as long as there's a URL, you just put the URL in there and you just share it with us. If you've got a PDF document you want us to review or whatever, again, in the Tech Lab, there's a place where it will tell you exactly how you can upload your a PDF to Google, and then how you can share that link with us. So again, and then you just share that and we will look after everything. My English is not as good as Stephen's. Stephen's English is really, really good. So he's great at catching any spelling mistakes, things like that, grammar, like all stuff like that. We're happy to go through and have a look at your work. Babe, oh, and the events. And then finally, up here is our 2 calls every month. If you want to find them, all you have to do is go to the events up here and you will see, I've actually gone today and I sat and I scheduled everything until the end of January. How good am I? That doesn't normally happen. So this is going to disappear now. And then there you'll see now our next call is on Tuesday. And then whenever if you just click on the call, the Zoom link is always there. So every call's got a different Zoom link. And just, you can just click on it. As you click on the event, the Zoom link is right there to join us. And then just go through here. You'll see that all the calls are there. We're only doing 1 call in December. We'll do it early in December so that for those that's going on holiday, going away, whatever the case may be, that you can get on with it. And then our first call back will only be on the 9th of January. So that will give everyone a nice break to do whatever you have to do. And then, yeah, and then those are our 2 calls in January.
Keep asking your questions in the group.
And this is actually our wedding anniversary. Can you believe it? I'm going to be doing calls on my wedding anniversary. That's commitment from my side, guys. So I hope you guys are going to bring your commitment from your side. Okay. Anything else for you, babe?
One or two or these three things.
Oh, okay, hang on. Let me just make sure now.
Just
I've got the
ask.
events, I've got the modules, the overwhelm. I think I've done everything. Don't sit and stew, ask all the questions inside the group. I think that's it. You can talk.
Has anyone got any
I'm just
questions
gonna-
on just the mechanics of all of that before I get on to just a couple of things I'd like to chat about?
I'm just looking at your questions quickly here, ladies. This time.
Where to find the vault?
The Tech Vault is also, I'll just quickly go back here. It's all in here. At the bottom of, oh, hang on, let me just get out of here. So if you Kickstart Your Course Creation in that digital product, and you go module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5, module 6, and then you get the Tech Vault.
You might as well show the templates and stuff.
Yeah, so there's planners, templates, and swipe files that I've put in here. Like here's, for instance, all the slide decks for your webinars. These templates that I've already created on Canva for you to do, either use as workbooks. You'll see in the course, I'm going to teach you how you can create extra workbooks and things like the workbooks you guys are downloading for every module, or even your ebook. I've created templates for that. Here's some extra journals that I've created there. But yeah, here's the Tech Vault. And basically, I have put a lot of the training, say, for instance, here with the recording, there is already tutorials in the actual module, but then all these, anything technical, it's duplicated into the Tech Vault as well. So you'll find that all the videos are also here in the Tech Vault. So if ever because you'll see what will happen is that often you'll get stuff and you'll start going and you'll start working and you'll have to go back to something later. And then you think, oh no, in which blooming module was that Tech Vault thing again? Then you can just go to the Tech Vault and you can just find it all here. And I've kind of categorized it so that that's for the recording. These are all the steps in creating your sales pages. So it's all there. But please, if you can't find something after you've looked for it, just let us know in the group and we will help you find it. All right.
Anybody got any questions on any of that? How to navigate your way around?
All good? Thumbs up? Awesome.
Everybody happy? Just ask any questions. You understand that there's no silly questions. Any questions, just in the group and we'll endeavor to answer them. If Mara and I don't, there's always somebody cleverer than us in the group that can help answer. That's been there and done it as well.
Okay. Urla, can you?
Yeah. Good evening. Yes. I just want to know, on the review pages and the questions pages, must we also tag you there?
Yes, please.
Must we tag you everywhere where we ask something?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Otherwise, we just don't get the notifications and we don't see it.
Okay. Thank you.
And it's very important when you haven't been answered the first time, when you're coming back the second and third and 10th time, to re-tag us each time. Because when we've answered, we think if we don't hear from you from a day or two, we assume that question's been answered. So, but what happens is sometimes, people get distracted, they go away, whatever, and they come back 2-3 weeks later, and then they want to pick up on the question they asked back then, which we think was finished. But like I say, we won't know that it's unfinished business because we don't get tagged. So you have to tag us each time until you're happy that you're satisfied with the answer. So does everybody understand that? Okay. So you're not hassling us.
No,
that's
please.
What you need to do to get your answer is to tag us.
And please, if we haven't answered you within 24 hours, please tag us again. Please message us again, because I don't know. I mean, sometimes there's just glitches and we're just human, but we really try. You can ask most of the ladies. We try our very best to get back to you within the same day. Unless you're posting something at night after 5, then we'll get back to you tomorrow. But yeah, most of the stuff we try and get answered on the same day. Judy.
Hi, the digital lab coaching. How long do we have access to coaching on the digital lab?
The coaching for everyone now that's in here is till the end of June. The actual, like the live calls. but you've got access to the training, to the actual Kajabi training, which I was showing you there, forever.
Okay, so it depends on when we joined, or is it till June next year?
No, it's till June next year, till the end of June next year.
Okay, for everybody.
Yeah. So after June, you'll have the option of staying in the group and have access to the coaching calls and the group for a nominal monthly fee if you want to pick up on that option.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you so much.
All right. Any other questions before Stephen carries on? Okay.
Okay. So I just want to chat about 3 things. The time is going to go very, very fast, very, very quickly. You're going to get distracted. Christmas is just around the corner, etc., etc. So the first thing I just want to talk about is time scheduling or time blocking. Do the 7-day time challenge if you get a chance, and make sure that you allocate your time. Decide whether it's 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day or an hour a day, whatever your time is and how many days a week, and just try and commit to that and stick to it so that you systematically work through it, because there will be distractions along the way. You turn around in 2 weeks' time and you suddenly realize, oof, I actually haven't done anything towards building this business. So whatever your personal circumstances are, just choose a time and time period, and then just do what you need to do.
Can I interrupt you there?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all well and good to say, okay, I'm going to work for an hour every night or whatever the case may be. But unless you honor that decision that you've made and commit to that decision that you've made, it is so easy to get waylaid. And I've talked about this often. My friends here know that we work until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. No one must come to my house. They mustn't come here. I work in the mornings. Sometimes they come and show their little faces here, and I just show them, no, go away. Just because I work from home doesn't mean I am available. Okay, so you've just got to start becoming, one of the things of when you start working for yourself, when you're doing your own thing, is the discipline that you need to start instilling. I know it's much more fun for me also to go and have coffee with my friends and to go for lunch and whatever. But the reality is, if you want to commit to your business, if you want to grow a successful business, you've got to put in boundaries. And the only way people are going to respect those boundaries is if you respect those boundaries. And you've just got to be firm in a nice way that I'm not available in those hours that you decide to commit. If you're working at night and you've got children, so I've been there, done that. My kids were at home when we were in Oz, and my kids knew if my door of my office was closed, they were not allowed to come into my office unless they were dying, unless they needed to see a doctor. That's the only time that they were allowed to come and disturb me. If they were fighting or screaming, or this one was doing this to that one or whatever, they knew they must not put their freaking foot into my office or they were going to get a hiding. So it's all about just putting those boundaries in. And then they knew it. My kids never bothered me once they knew that that was the rule and that was the boundaries. So it's all just about setting those boundaries, telling people around you that that is my time, and then make sure that you respect it so that other people respect your time.
Yeah, just to answer Will with regards to the time, just like I say, everyone's circumstances are different and you want to have a good work-life balance. So you need to time block something that's sustainable. So it's pointless day one being very excited and say, I'm going to do 7 hours today or 6 hours today. And then that inspiration and motivation runs out by Friday. And then next week you want to do 5 minutes a day. It's better just to choose a time that's sustainable, that fits into your lifestyle.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, lovely. Thank you.
Janine there as well?
How
much time do we need? I would work, if you can commit to an hour a day, Monday to Friday, 5 days a week, 5 hours a week. I mean, do it wherever you want to or can fit it in. You will get through the training. The videos are very short. It's not the videos that's going to take time. It's doing the work that's going to take time. Okay, so you can watch the whole of module 1 in an hour and a half at the most. It's the work that needs to be done that's going to take a bit more time.
Okay, the second thing I just wanted to speak about was goal setting. So set yourself some goals, you know, dare I say financial goals, or workshop, your first workshop goal, your first ebook goal, your first course goal, whatever that is for you. So for everybody's going to be different. For some, it's easier to write an ebook. For others, it's easier to speak in front of people and do a workshop. Whatever that day is, start having a think about the time frame by when you'd like to launch that first workshop or that first ebook.
Or the first course.
Or the first course, whatever it's going to be for you. And then just think in financial terms, what sort of monetary number would be quite useful to see, let's just say in 3 months' time or 4 months' time or 6 months' time, whatever it is, so that you can work backwards. So you can ask questions in the group. If I want to earn 10,000 Rand, what's that going to look like in terms of how many ebooks I need to sell? How many people do I need to present this ebook to have a conversion? Because there's sort of industry general standards about how many people will see it, and then eventually how many people will buy it, and so forth. So just think about your little goal setting there. And the third thing, which is probably the most important, is fear. So what holds most of us back is fear. You know, that could be anything. I've just spoken about finances and goal setting. Then some of you, maybe it's money blocks. You've got fear around money and you're scared of money. You're giving your stuff away for free now because you think, you know, am I that important? If that's the right word, probably the wrong word to use.
Who am I?
Who am I to think that, you know, I can charge for my stuff? What I sell, 1,000 other people are doing, or it's available for free on the internet, or this guy's been doing it for 30 years, or this girl's been doing it for 30 years. I've only been doing it for 10 years, whatever the case may be. So the whole time you're going to have this secondary voice speaking to you. Okay, so you just got to be aware that that's going to happen to all of us. Doesn't matter with Maren before the workshop or us before we're coming on here. There's a little voice chatting the whole time. And basic human instinct is survival. And generally we default to the negative. So we'll always look at the negative first, because you had to, many moons ago, you had to be aware that, you know, there's a lion around the corner that could eat you, or you could fall over a cliff, or the tribe from next door is going to hit you over the back of the head with a stone. Okay, so everything was focused negative, and we default to negative. We default to what we call our comfort zones, a safe space that's comfortable. And you'll find that every time you try and step beyond your comfort zone, for some of you, it might be technical stuff. Like you think, oh, I'm not very good at Canva, for example. Like me, I'm not really good at Canva. So when I sit down, I don't have the patience to do Canva. And I was like, I say to Maren the whole time, geez, I wish I could just have my daughter next to me, because I just want to talk and say pink, yellow, green, say this, 3 there, you know, and get it done with. So for me, when I'm sitting down to do Canva, the first 10, 20 minutes, I'll get up and I'll walk around the garden and I'll go and weed, and I'll come back and I'm like, scratch my head, and it's like, you know, that frustration, whatever you want to call it. So for some of you, that's going to happen. It's like, oh, shit. But the thing is, you just got to fight through that and say, look, it's learnable. I get down, I do my Canva thing. It takes me half an hour instead of 5 minutes, but so what? It's done. But this thing's going to pop up the whole time, and it's going to try and derail you. So just be aware that every time you're getting uncomfortable, that's actually a good thing, because you're growing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you need to stretch every time that little bugger pops his head up or her head up. Just name them, thank them, be aware of it, and just say, listen, time for you to quieten down. It's time for me now to step through this fear and embrace it and do it anyway. So that's going to happen. It's going to happen often. The other thing, I just want you to have the belief that you've got the skills, you've got the talents, you've got the knowledge, you've got the expertise, you're a lot more capable maybe than you believe right now, or you think right now. You know, a lot of us are subjected to a lot of negative talk over time. And over 10, 20, 30 years, you start believing that stuff, and it's nonsense. And then when you try and break free of that stuff, a lot of that stuff comes to sabotage you when you least expect it, and you can't understand why. It's because these limiting beliefs that have been passed on, some generational, that is going to hold you back. So you just got to understand, you've got to fight some of those beliefs and question some of those beliefs, and just ask yourself, look, this thing that I believe, is it true for me? Was it ever true for me? And is it still true for me? Because a lot of the stuff, if you because we do so much stuff subconsciously, 95% of what we do subconsciously, 5% consciously, we just get on with life on the treadmill. We do things and we don't really think about a lot of these things. But if you sit down and you think, well, why do I think like that? Why do I believe that? When you sit down and you think about it, it's like, I don't know why I believe that, because my dad told me that. And so I've never questioned it. And what he said must have been right. So that's what I've believed now for 30, 40 years. And then you think, well, how does that serve me? You know, it's a bit like the woman with the roasting pan. Some of you may have heard it, some may haven't. So the woman's making a roast and she cuts off one side and she cuts off the other side, and then she makes the roast. And then her daughter says, you know, I do the same as you, but why are we cutting off each side of the roasting pan? She says, I don't know, let me ask my mom. So she asks her mom, why do you cut off each end of the roasting pan? Of the roast, sorry. And she says, well, I don't know, let's ask Granny. So they get hold of Granny and say, why do we always cut off each side of the roast before we put in the pan? She says, no, because after the Second World War, I only ever had a small roasting pot. And the meat was always bigger than the pot, so I always cut off both ends. So, you know, that's a little example how from generation to generation, they keep on cutting both sides of the meat because the roasting pan wasn't big 100 years ago. But people do that with all sorts of things, whether it's finance.
Our belief systems that we get from our parents and how we grew up and things like that. I mean, it definitely comes through in our lives and in our family lives and what we teach to our kids again. So
yes, I just want you to understand that it's going to be normal to be uncomfortable, and you've just got to embrace it and just step through it. Has anybody got any questions?
Just put it down here again, Hilary. Any questions, ladies? What do you always say?
Whenever I go out and there's women around, it's normally like being in a canary factory, you know. But when I get onto these calls, I probably won't come onto the next call. I'll just go and sit on the other side of the screen. And maybe you'll open up a bit.
Stephen always says the one that asks the questions is going to be the wealthiest. All right, we would love to hear from you. If you can just give us your name, what industry you are, or what do you do, and then what type of digital product you want to create. So I'm just going to start the way that the screen is here on top of me. So Sarita, you're the first one on my screen, so I'm just going to go through it. Will you just unmute yourself and let us know?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I'm a school counselor at a special school, and so over the time of 10 years, I've developed several special school programs, which I've been presenting as well. So I'm on retirement, so I have actually already established quite a lot of the workshops, but that is now to present physically at different schools. So I am planning to have, I think my first one will be an ebook, and that specific book will be in Afrikaans, because that is a huge need in South Africa for social workers or new therapists to have some guidelines for schools in Afrikaans. So that will be my first one, but my English one is already completed. The English one is done. So I'm doing a course now on the 17th of November for the district on education department. So it's a lot of the work I know is done, but not the digital part. You know, I'm the auntie who still wants the paper file and your address to come and visit you for coffee. So, but I am really looking forward to learning all these new stuff. Yes, thank you.
No, that's awesome. I just want to add on there. Definitely, there is a huge demand in the Afrikaans market. So if you are Afrikaans, do not think that you have to do things in English. My response, even though I do all my training and coaching in English, just because literally for the last 30 years, since I started business, my first job was with IBM in Joburg, and it was an English environment, and all our work has always been English environment. So it's just easier for me to speak in English. I understand it. I mean, my brain thinks business in English. However, I've already got so many people asking me to do things in Afrikaans. So there is a massive market for the Afrikaans. So well done, Jana. I think you're definitely onto something there. Denise. Can you just unmute yourself?
Okay. Hello, everybody. Denise. I am an art teacher. I taught art a long time ago. I've been busy with life assurance. I've been a life broker for the last 30 years. And I will probably be there forever. So I can't get out of it. So it's too difficult. You know, people start relying on you and want this and they want that and so on. But I've decided that the art is very important because it's always been, for me, number one. And now the courses will be revolving around different art things, subjects, history of art, painting, etching, whatever. So I think there's quite a lot of subjects that I could possibly build into this whole thing. But also I find that the online thing is quite daunting and quite amusing as well. So don't worry, I'll sort it out. You'll just have to help me. But yeah,
absolutely.
And then I do go to Harkerville, as I mentioned, quite a lot, mainly because of material. I do a lot of Nguni counts, for example, seahorses, beaches. You know, we were taught to do almost anything art-wise. So the good thing is that, you know, I can do portraits, you know, whatever. So I'm quite flexible, but I have 2 cottages, wooden cottages in Harkerville, and I also let them out. But I'll go and stay in one of them, and then I will do my art there for a while and come back to Johannesburg, mainly because I like trees, and I've got a lot of trees here. So that's also a very good subject matter.
Oh,
thank you.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Karen, your surname you've got a different surname as well.
Yes, my surname's Chemican. I got married in December.
Oh,
the 31st of December, so it's not Chemican, yeah. But now my profiles and everything are still on my old surname, and it's because my 365 package is registered like that, and it's a mission to be married at this age and change surnames.
I get that. My best friend here also is in her second marriage, and I mean, even though they've been married for 5 years, and I think they've been together for 10 years, she just recently had to change some or other passport that was still in her previous marriage name. So I get the whole drama that comes with it. All right.
Done most of it, but I can't do this. But anyway. Okay, so I'm a coach. I do business coaching, mostly performance coaching. We work in the insurance industry at the moment. But I'm actually wanting to be a skills development coach. My passion is working in underprivileged environments. So I actually have a teaching background. I taught for 20 years, and then I had a business. We did learning material for teachers. And then in 2012, I went into real estate. My business caved with a textbook saga, Limpopo textbook saga. And I started selling property, and I was there for 8 years. I worked with a business coach, and as Stephen said, sometimes you've got to go with the low-hanging fruities, and that's why I'm thinking right now I'm in that position where I'm not sure exactly what the product's going to be, but doing a bit of brainstorming, I definitely have a lot of insight into what an intern agent needs to sell their first house in a short period of time. And so whatever the outcome is of that course, I'm going to probably focus on that. And yes, then there are a variety of other things that it's been quite nice to dream again and to sit down and say, you know, what are the things that I can do? I'm a lifelong learner, so I've upskilled a little bit, and I've done conflict resolution and negotiation and stuff like that, but I'm not sure. It's difficult because, yes, when you have ideas in your head and you're dreaming, it's difficult to narrow down to one. So, but I've thought maybe that's exactly what I'll do, is follow the advice of the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, you'll see how things evolve. I mean, even for me, when we came to South Africa, and because this was like a brand new market for me. So for those of you that don't know, Stephen and I actually live in Australia, and we left. Stephen is Zimbabwean, I'm South African. We left South Africa in 1991, went to the UK, then went to Zim. We were farmers in Zim for 10 years. And then due to all that illegal land occupation, we ended up losing our farm. And that's when we decided to immigrate to Australia with our kids. They were all very small then. So we've lived in Australia since 2004. And then we came here in 2000 and we got stuck here during COVID. And we're still stuck. We're still here. We're not stuck anymore, but we're still here. So we've decided, we ended up buying a house in the 2 years we were stuck here. And we love it so much being back that basically we've decided that we're just going to live here until one of my kids decide to give me grandkids. So for now, I'm here. Now, why was I saying this? Oh, because things, oh yeah. So I started this this year. And I mean, it was a brand new market for me. I didn't have a clue what was going on in South Africa. I haven't lived here for 30 years. And so what you'll find is that you're going to start with something, and then the more you get comfortable in what you're doing, and the more you get clear on exactly the route you'll go or whatever, you'll see that you'll pivot, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, if you might start off a certain way, and then you start realizing, oh, okay, well, now my students are actually saying this, this, and this, and maybe it's a better way for me to now change and adapt and do something new. So, and you can't know all those things right at the beginning. You've actually got to go through it and do it. It's not that you're making mistakes. It's just that you're getting better. It's like a business growing, and you're just getting better, and you refine, and you expand, or whatever the case may be. So you'll get clarity the more you do it, and the more you start doing things, you'll definitely get a lot more clarity. Awesome. Okay, Janine.
Hi. Ja, can you hear me?
Yes.
Kan ek maar Afrikaans praat?
Absoluut.
Is net vir my makliker, en hoef ek het 'n min A nie, want I speak it very deliciously, the English. Ja, ek is 'n part-time art teacher. Ek werk nog 'n bietjie, maar ek probeer myself nou daar uitwerk dat ek 'n voltyds art teacher kan wees. En ek het in COVID tyd ek eintlik begin om art e-books te maak, want my studente wou aangaan met kunsklasse en ons kon nie. So ek het gegaan en ek het e-books begin maak van ek het dit op CorelDRAW gedoen, en toe het ek dit in PDF boeke oorgesit, en dan WhatsApp ek dit vir hulle so stap vir stap boeke. Maar dis baie elementêr en baie jy weet, ek wil dit bietjie meer refine, en dan wil ek video's daarby maak en so aan. So ek dink regtig toe ek op julle goed afkom te besef ek, maar this is gonna be the game changer for me. So ek is baie opgewonde daaroor, en ek het eintlik al begin. Ek is nou een van daai's wat nou so half in die middel begin het eers. Ek weet nie, ek het geweet waar om te begin nie. Toe download ek die How to Make Your e-book, daai ene. En toe begin ek nou maar so lank daar lees en so aan, en toe, ek weet op 'n stadium het julle gesê jy moet nou gaan vir jou mense vra wat wil hulle hê. So ek het al klaar vir die mense gevra wat wil hulle hê in hulle eerste. So ek het al klaar 'n idee wat gaan ek my eerste e-book maak, en ek bedoel my eerste nou saam met julle wat ek nou oordentlike e-book maak en so aan. So ek's baie opgewonde, ek kan nie wag om te begin nie.
Oh, dit klink baie exciting. Ja nee, dit klink ek dink jy definitief die feit dat jy al klaar begin het daarmee en jy weet wat jou studente soek, amazing.
Ja.
Anna, are you baie dankie Janine. Is Anna still here? She just said she had to leave. I just want to see if we can quickly see her. Just go to the gallery view, babe, then I can see you interfering now again. See, ons het ook domestics, hoor. Moenie dink dit is altyd wonderlik nie.
Ag, and it's honey and roses in this place.
Nee, ek sien nou sy's klaar af. O, okay. Dat ek gou weer sorry te gedoen. Sarah Emily.
Just want to see. Boy.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear us there?
I can hear you clearly.
Oh yeah, there you are. Okay, now we can see you. So Sarah, what do you do, and what are you planning on, or what would you like to create as far as digital products are concerned?
Lost it.
Sy weg.
Oenie,
Wanneer daar sy? Sarah, can you unmute yourself? Okay, ons gaan aan die volgende een toe.
You see me?
Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you let us know what you are, what do you do and what are you planning on doing in as far as creating a digital product?
Okay, I wanted to create a course for women on ADHD,
Okay.
but I'm changing my mind about that because I think I want to go with dogs, with rescue dogs, adopting a dog.
Okay. And then what do you want to do as far as the dogs are concerned? Is it dog training or what do you think?
Yes, dog training and a little bit of human training, like with kids and what types of rules there should be.
Sorry, I missed that last bit. What was that last bit?
And also like with rules and training the kids how they should be around the dogs.
Okay, that sounds awesome. I think there's another lady that we've got that does dog training. Yeah, there's another lady in our group that does dog training. So you can definitely connect up with her. We'll make a plan. Once I know what everyone's doing, then we can go into and make those hubs so that you can work together. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Sounds great.
Is it Sarah?
Thank you.
Is it Emily?
Is it Sarah, Emily, or Sarah, Emily?
Well, some people just call me Emily and then Sarah, but it's Sarah Emily.
Okay, we'll call you Sarah, Emily.
Thank you.
All right, Nadia.
Sorry.
No.
I'm on my phone and I couldn't figure out how to unmute on my phone.
Okay.
So I am I'm a brand designer. I always say I do logos and brand identities, but then people always get stuck by the logo, and the logo is really very far down the road of my process. But logo design is what people understand. So I take a business owner through a process of strategy, really, to figure out who you are, who you want to be known, what you want to be known for as your business, your desired reputation, your audience, and then your price point. And then we create the brand around that. And I always say so that it must make sense. It must logically make sense to you and to your audience. So that I do one-on-one with great success. I have no fears there. But now I want to take that to one-to-many and create a course to lead beginner business owners through the strategy part, maybe a bit of design as well, to just teach you to level up your design a little bit and how to match it to your strategy.
Yeah.
But there my wheels come off, and I don't know why. One-on-one, I'm 100% confident I work with big global clients, but group-wise, I feel like there's a mindset issue there still that I feel like I don't know, that I feel like people won't believe me. But anyway, so that is what I do. And that's sort of more or less the idea of the course, is to teach newer beginner business owners the strategy behind brand design and just to make better choices from that.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I think a lot of people need that when they first start, in a business, especially the small business owners, because they just don't know. It's a whole brand new thing. So sounds exciting. Well done. Okay, Michelle.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Hi.
You,
Okay. I have absolutely no idea, to be quite honest. I'm thinking of doing an ebook. I'm actually in compliance with the bank, so it's kind of like boring, all right? But so I'm looking at something new. I'm having to retire next year, and I have like money concerns, and that's how I decided I'm going to just try and do something totally different out of my league. I listened to Stephen in his first talk where he said nothing's impossible, and that's why I've joined.
What is your background? You're in compliance now, but what did you study anything? Have you
No, I've always been in banking. I've always been in
Oh,
banking
banking?
and that. So it's nothing, nothing overly exciting. But I've decided that I want to learn and maybe the ideas will come as we go along.
Well, I must tell you, my brother's in compliance. He's actually got compliance software and stuff like that. And I can tell you that I personally believe there's a huge market for compliance in South Africa. Just compared to Australia, there's just so many things that I think that people can get. And I mean, I think, especially here, I feel like so many businesses think that compliance is just another thing that they have to do and they don't really want to do it. So if you can put something together that the small business owner specifically can, implement, and you can give them a guideline, whether it's in the shape of ebooks or even in the form of memberships where they pay you monthly, and every month you will give them guidance and you'll keep them up to date with whatever the compliance are and whatever. I mean, there's actually a lot when you start thinking about it. There's a lot that you can do with compliance, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing you can
Yeah.
do is brain dump.
So I can do.
Just dump everything that's in your head. Anything you
Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. As I say, I mean, I have no idea, and I sit and think, well, why did I put on this? I went into this with blinkers and thinking, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but yeah, I'm going to make it work.
No, absolutely. There, Nadia's just said that she's just done the branding for a compliance company. So again, it's throwing out ideas and talking to some of the other ladies in the group, and it's amazing how much clarity you'll get. Just start working through the course, and then it'll definitely help you.
Yeah, that's what I've decided to do.
Yeah. Well done, Michelle. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sonia.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
It's exciting to be here. So my whole plan is I am actually a bookkeeper in the mornings. So I work in the morning for an oil mill company. And then I'm a qualified image consultant and coach, like a life coach. So the plan is to combine the two into a online program that people can work through. So specifically, my niche would be short, petite women, helping them from the inside out, rebrand their whole identity, how they look at themselves, how they present themselves, what colors suit them best, what body shape they have, face shape they have, the whole image consulting thing on the outside, but then also working from the inside out. So I've got the whole thing up here. It's like a whole step by step week plan, but to put it together is still a bit difficult for me. But yeah, that's the plan, combining basically the image consulting with a bit of coaching, limiting beliefs,
personal development,
all the issues that we ladies deal with, confidence, yeah. So that's the whole plan. But specifically, the niche I want to work with is small, petite, short women like myself.
Awesome. No, that sounds fantastic. And I get it. I've got a sister-in-law. She's a little Portuguese girl, and I say little because I think she weighs like 38 kilos, and it's got nothing to do with that she's like don't eat or whatever. She is just the tiniest. She's a size 6. She's the tiniest person, and her mum is even smaller than her, and her little girl is small, and her sister is tiny. They're all these minute little people. And I know for her the struggle, we think we struggle because we're overweight and we're bigger. I know that she's struggled. She's got the exact same, just in the opposite direction. So I get it. I think I know exactly where you're going, and I think that's a great niche to have, because everyone works with the overweight girls and no one works with the little girls. So awesome.
Yeah, for me, picking up 5 kilos is just as bad as for someone else picking up 5 kilos. If I go and buy a bigger size, it's also not nice for me. But people are like, what are you complaining about? You're so thin already. 5 kilos is 5 kilos, whether you're size 30 or a size 32. It's bad enough. But there is a real struggle. So yeah, just to get to those people will be awesome.
Okay, excellent. Well done. Exciting. Will.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great, because power is out here at the moment. So I'm like Karen and a whole lot of not really clear. Than babies have been part of my life since I was 15. And I'm qualified to have few and teaching trauma, prenatal birth psychology. So I've always utilized my skills in providing a holistic service, like when I had my home birth practice. But being in the UAE now for the last 10 years, I've had a number of positions there in education and training. So, and working with women in the hospital as a lactation consultant. So I'm really not knowing where I'm wanting, what I really want to do, if it's like a coaching program or, but I think the umbrella would be mother and baby.
That sounds fantastic.
So I'm just playing around with that at the moment. And yeah,
there's a huge movement. I know there's a huge movement towards natural births, home births, lactation specialists, getting what do they call them?
Lactation consultants?
No, the ladies that come in and help them have
the doula.
Doulas,
yeah.
So there's a huge market in all that. So yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in what you want to do.
Yeah, so I know the market pretty well here because I had a home birth practice for about 10 years, about 20 years ago, or 15 years ago. Yeah, so I just need to think, in terms of the pricing and what the need is. Do I start with a mini course and ebooks, or, do I do a full-on childbirth antenatal course, including maybe postnatal aspect to it? Then it'll be like a 6-week course. I don't know. There's just so much. So I'm just going to go through the material. I will just start somewhere, and it can always be tweaked and adjusted and changed, and just to start with something.
Exactly. The best is to start with one subject. I would definitely go, especially when you've got something that you can teach so much on, is just start with one thing, and then always expand from there. You
can
new courses like extra. No, that sounds exciting. Huge potential.
So what I was thinking of doing here as well, because I'm also a baby massage practitioner, so I know all the doctors at Mediclinic and the hospitals around here, and to set up because I've just come back to Joburg now in the last 3 months to look after my husband, to start a one-on-one practice where I can also be doing workshops, so that I can get to know everybody around here, as well as having the online. So it doesn't just have to be online. So then at least the face-to-face interaction would also be supporting the online. Yeah.
Sounds exciting. Well done.
Yeah.
All right. Who have we got left here? Erla, I see your hands up. Erla.
Hi. Yeah, I just want to mention I'm one of the older ladies, or one of the ones that's been here before, but I actually came across something yesterday on Facebook, and there was a question that Auntie Acid asked, what is the one topic what are the topics that you can speak about for 20 minutes without any preparation? And that just made the penny drop for me in terms of clarity of what should I be doing. I was thinking now about that lady that says she's been in compliance forever. Then that's your niche, however boring you think it is. like you said, Maren, there's lots of people who want to know what it is that they have to do to be compliant. And yeah, so that just made me, that was a big realization for me. And the topics that I can talk about for 20 minutes without any prep, that's the things I should be working on.
Absolutely.
So if that helps the ladies, yeah.
Yeah, not everyone knows what you know, what you think is logical and normal.
Common
And you can do it with
sense
your
and-
eyes shut. Remember, the next person can't
Exactly.
do it.
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned before, there's somebody that makes 100,000 US plus a year teaching people how to do handstands. So if you think how can you make money out of doing handstands, just go and Google it, so you know that I'm not BSing you, but there we are. Virl, just something out of left field. We were in a membership group there, and somebody was making money out of selling advice on how to move to Greece or the Greek islands. So I know a lot of South Africans go and work in the Middle East. So there might be down the road just an opportunity to put out an ebook or something on 50 things you need to know about before you get to the UAE or something, schools and education and medical and insurance.
Right. Yeah.
Out of the left wing there.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, there's all sorts of stuff that there's a need for.
Judy, we're going to finish off with you tonight.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, can we see you or are we not allowed to see you?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Do you want to share a little bit so the other ladies know what you're doing?
Okay, so I help service owner-managed businesses who are struggling with the accounting challenges to manage their finances effectively, achieve business compliance, and increase profitability without the need for an in-house accounting team.
Awesome. So Judy has also been with us for a little while. So do you know where you're heading yet, Judy?
At the moment, I think there's two streams that I'm thinking about. Obviously, I've got the ebook on understanding numbers, but then I'm looking at doing a workshop or that in course fashion in terms of understanding your finances or your numbers. And then the other option is maybe looking at doing some debt counseling. And with regard to processes and maybe doing that more as a workshop, I'm not too sure how to package it together, if I should look at it in terms of workshopping or in course fashion.
Yeah, look, I always think if you've got specific subjects you're going to do, like specific topics that you want to talk about, workshop is great. Because you can sell a workshop, it can be an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour workshop, and you create a workbook with it, and then you can sell it. And then once you've created it live, once you've done it live, you're obviously going to record it, and then you can sell it over and over and over again, that as a workshop. So just because I'm talking a course, everything doesn't have to be a course. So I'm going to be doing a workshop on Black Friday now. So that's something, it's still in my business, it's still relevant to what I do, but it doesn't really fit into anything specific. But it's such a crucial part of any business is Black Friday coming up. So now I'm just doing a workshop on Black Friday. So yeah, I would definitely, it sounds like that's the way to go with those smaller topics. It's definitely workshops. And then remember, there's nothing then that later, when you've created like 5 or 10 different workshops, to then go and start bundling these workshops together and sell it as a bundle. And it could be maybe, I'm just pulling stuff, but maybe just subjects that's kind of related and bundle those ones together, separately. And you can have all these different bundles that you can sell, which were all workshops with workbooks, etc., that you can do. So no, that sounds exciting.
One more thing around that, I was just thinking, when I was thinking about the workshop, I think that can also be very personal. So when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, should I look at the workshop, or I suppose that would be easier than looking at one-on-one consulting, because that's going to take more of my time. But people generally want to actually delve into their situations and how to improve their situation. Yep. So how would you when thinking about that, how do, obviously from a digital perspective, what would be your thoughts around that?
Remember, every time they've got more access to you, that's when the price needs to go up. So when you're doing group coaching, you know, you can afford to subsidize everybody, if I can put it that way, because you're doing one-to-many. But if people want your professional services and they want one-on-one coaching, then you need to charge per hour or consult or whatever it is, or you have, you know, like they buy 6 hours of your time over the next 6 weeks or something like that, and then that entitles them to 6 calls. I know somebody who has access to somebody's WhatsApp number. Now, speak under correction, but I think they pay, I think it was $80,000 US, so 1.6 million rand, just to have this person's WhatsApp number, which means they can have phone call access at any time. So don't undervalue your professional time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much for that.
It's a pleasure. Janine had a question there. Sorry, not Janine, Sarah Emily. What if you know your niche is teaching, calling, working with kids, setting up lesson plans, but you want to do something different? That's fine. That's the beauty. You can pivot, you can do whatever you want. So again, like Stephen said, you know, the best thing to start off with is that brain dump. It's just start putting, especially if you're unsure on what you want to do, just start, take a piece of paper and just start writing like all the different ideas you've got, all the different, maybe what's relevant, like if it's a specific thing, if it's teaching, but then if it's dog training or whatever it is, and just start dumping. And then as you start dumping, then you start thinking, okay, well, if it is dog training, what under dog training, what is there that I can teach people? What is there that I can, that people can learn from me, or where I can be of benefit to someone that I can charge for? And just dump it first, because that's where the beauty, some of the things that we come up with might just be good for ebooks, or maybe some of our ideas are specifically geared and they would work really well in a membership environment, like because a lot of people like to be part of something, but there's just like one type of training every month. So I've got one of my students, she just does one lesson every month. There's one thing she teaches, and she's in a membership environment. So people pay her X amount of money every month, and then there's one teaching around that. I know one of the other girls, she's just started a membership around essential oils. She's teaching women all about essential oils. Another lady is doing her plants with plants and stuff like that. So how to propagate plants, herbs, like how to use herbs for all the different reasons, etc., etc. But the thing is, if you do it in a membership kind of environment, then every month there's like a different thing that you can teach them and whatever. So you don't have to think, okay, how am I going to put a whole course together? Because it doesn't have to be a course. You are going to be teaching them every month one thing. So there's so many different options on what you can do. And that's why the best thing is just to start off in brain dump.
What we said to Karen was basically, there's something that you're good at, that you're really, really good at, and there's something that you really, really love. And quite often it depends on your own personal financial situation. If you're in a situation where finances is not an issue, then you can spend time pursuing something that you love, that you want to do long term. But like in Karen's position, we suggested go for the low-hanging fruit, something that you, like Earl said there, you can talk about all day long. Is maybe it's not something you want to do long term, but you can do it in the short term because you've already got a following or a database or knowledge or information that's readily available, etc., etc. Then maybe you want to pursue that, because the same principle, when this is generating income, is the same thing you're going to use for that thing that you want to do long term.
Okay, ladies. Well, thank you so much for coming to join us tonight. It was so nice meeting you all. So remember now, just start with Kickstart Your Course Creation. If you've got any questions, jump into the Facebook group, and then our first call regarding the training and everything will be on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock again. So we look forward to seeing you guys there. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you for coming.